crack on then.
No, I'm not doing anything until you're over here. Because you were going to start, you were going to talk.
Oh, Jesus. One thing we're not short of is cushions.
Hi everyone. We thought we'd just give you an update on what's going on in Spain. We don't want the whole episode to be about coronavirus, but I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what's going on. We've had some lovely messages from people checking up on us and making sure that we're okay. And as I'm sure you're aware, we're in Spain. We've been here for 6 months now. We were due to leave in April. We were going to be leaving here in the middle of April, and obviously now we're under lockdown, have been for a week, and it's just a bit surreal. It's a bit strange. And Steve went out today for the first time, and I'll let you tell them about that in a moment. And yeah, it's just a very, very strange situation to be in. You really?
Yeah, well, that's enough about that. Well, we watched a lot of other people's videos on the coronavirus, and basically nobody knows anything really. We're all kind of, I was going to say in the same boat, but we've all got plans, we all want to get going, but there seems to be nowhere to go to, and much as we'd like to get going, in the grand scheme of things, we're just yachties tossing about on the water, retired.
We have had people say to us, "Oh, you're in the best position. You can just go off in your boat and you can self-isolate yourself out sailing." The problem with that is that yes, we could leave the marina. We then wouldn't be allowed back in the marina, or any other marina, come to that, in any other country. So our plans, which were to stay here for 6 months and then go into the Med for the summer 2020, and are really, but the coronavirus has put a kibosh on that. Our plan, having left here, was to head towards the Balearics and go and visit Mallorca, Ibiza, Mallorca, or even coastal hop Spain up to the Balearics, and then maybe go across to Corsica and Sardinia. As we all know, that ain't going to happen now, and we are just going to sit it out here, I think, for the moment. There's no point in leaving here to then go and plant ourselves, anchor up somewhere, and not be able to go ashore. We have seen other people's vlogs. We've been watching other people that have in the same situation as us, but decided to leave Marina, and now they've ended up being stuck at anchor and not necessarily being able to go ashore in a dinghy. In fact, one couple went ashore in a dinghy and the police stopped them and told them to go back. So we certainly don't want to get into that situation. We've got enough food on the boat to last us for at least a month, maybe a month and a half, and we don't have to go to a shop.
There's a lot of people asking a lot of questions at the moment, and nobody really has the answer, and it feels very strange to be on a yacht down in the Med or in Spain. We don't speak Spanish. We know enough to order a beer and get the bill, but that's it. So that element, you feel a little bit kind of out of the loop. You don't know what's going on. We get the news from back in the UK, but we don't get a lot of news from Spain.
Well,
but hopefully there's
not helped by the fact we don't speak Spanish. So.
Exactly. But hopefully there's a lot of clever people trying to get to grips with this thing, and for all of our benefit. Annette mentioned earlier that I went out for the first time in 7 days today, not because we were necessarily self-isolating, but you just kind of probably like a lot of people, you become a bit anxious, fearful, however you want to describe it, and you kind of think, well, we've got what we need, we've got enough food, we've got enough bits and bobs. We don't need, the weather hasn't been great, it's been blowing quite a bit, so we haven't needed to get off the boat. You become out of the loop. You don't know whether the world's ended at the end of the pontoon. Are you going to go up there? And so anyway, this morning decided that I would take a walk up into the town to see whether the local supermarket was open, also to see whether the place that sells gas was open, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need a gas bottle fairly soon. Probably going to get a lot of wind noise, but this is me leaving the boat for the first time in 7 days to head up into the town to got to stop saying head up into the town on a food run. All seems quite quiet, but the weather's quite horrible. This could be the first issue. We apologise for any inconvenience caused. Obviously we've got to walk round. Had to walk the long way round because the gate's closed. This restaurant's still not finished, they've been doing it for 6 months. A few cars out and about. Been wanting to cough for about the last 50 minutes. Due to the fact that everybody looks at you, look, if you cough, you've got it. That is the people that you do bump into. It's very quiet. I'm breathing a bit heavy at the moment because I'm humping shopping bags. I was able to get stuff, a little bit restricted. People are buying a lot of frozen stuff and a lot of the meat stuffs. A lot of the refrigeration units were out of action. Makes it quite easy to cross the road though, because there's not a lot about. Play area's cordoned off. There'd normally be a lot of people around here. There are still some cars around. Guys running around disinfecting up ahead. What they're disinfecting, I don't quite know. My arms are hanging off. Just been overtaken now. Somebody's unlocked it now, which is good news. I didn't film too much. Actually, I didn't film any in the supermarket. Just felt a bit weird. People are coping as best they can. Very subdued. Compared to what we've seen of Spanish normally, they're very, very, very sociable and gather very sociably in groups, so this must be extremely difficult culturally, extremely difficult. But everybody's doing their bit, everybody's calm, just kind of trying to get on with it. It just seems very, very, very strange. And as we said a couple of times before, it's like living in a film, a very long film. You wouldn't think that lot would cause much of an issue, but I think it's the joints of meat and the sugar and milk making me into Stretch Armstrong. Oh, wind behind us now, which is good. Give me a push. So bought some paracetamols, no problems at all. And then I went to the Mercadona. There was a queue outside on purpose where they were only letting a certain amount of people in at a time, and the security guard who normally works in the shop was actually outside controlling people. He didn't need to control them that much because everybody was basically very compliant, very kind of getting on with it. Everybody was keeping a good 2 meters distance from each other, and as I say, they were letting a certain amount of people into the shop at a time so that they can control basically the distance between people inside the shop. There were certain things in the shop that the shelves were empty, not massively, but the shelves were, but the basics of what people need to survive were in the shop in a good enough supply. People weren't going mad, and it was credit to the shop and credit to the guy out the front who was kind of controlling. It was working really well. Spanish culture is very social, is very, they gather in the evenings with the children, drinking coffee.
And the mornings, don't they?
Yeah, it's lovely to see. It really is lovely, and I think helped by the climate, but they socialise a lot with their families, and to have that taken away, to have that restricted at the moment, must be really, really difficult. And people are doing it because it's for the greater good. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that bit. What else are we up to?
Oh dear. Steve's doing quite a few jobs on the boat at the moment.
That is the we were planning to leave earlier, but the fact that we're in a boat that's 35 years old and is constantly needing repairs or needing upgrading, or having the additional time without the thought of going cruising, does give us the time to start working on stuff. Luckily, I brought a lot of stuff with me because
don't we know that?
At the moment the chandlery is shut, so even if we wanted something, we couldn't get it from the chandlery. But we got enough to be getting on with.
Yeah, well, we got things like Jubilee clips. We have, several hundred Jubilee clips on board.
They could become currency
in
the future.
Yeah, but we've got plenty to keep us busy. Isolation hasn't been too bad, has it? We've been in isolation now for 7 days, or under lockdown, I should say, for 7 days. We haven't been in isolation apart from I've had shingles for 7 days now. No, I've had shingles for a little bit longer than 7 days. It was diagnosed 7 days ago, so I haven't been able to go out, and luckily it hasn't been bad enough that I've been laid up in bed all of the time, but it has meant that I've had very good reason to not go out, because I certainly don't want to catch anything whilst I've got shingles.
We have a nice life. We can't kind of, yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm all right, Jack.
You could have had one.
Yeah, I was saying we can't complain. We have a nice life. In the great scheme of things, we're lucky, fortunate. We're doing what we want to do in the way that we want to do it. We'll get through.
I have to say, right at this moment, if I had my choice, I would be in the UK, only because then I could be with the family to support and help, with everything that's going on in the UK. Luckily, they're not in lockdown in the UK. I can't say everything's normal over there, but it's a lot more normal than what it is here. We can't even get there to help them. That's a little bit. Look, I try not to think about that.
Bit challenging. Don't keep going on about that. I'm not as used to on camera work as you.
Oh, get lost. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and if you've got any questions, please ask. We're happy to answer anything. Any comments, we don't mind, good, bad or indifferent.
Where's your
Oh, what, my mask? Do you like my mask? This, do you know, you gotta laugh. can't get masks, face masks for love nor money over here at the moment, as you can't anywhere else in the world. But I was watching Facebook the other day, and a Chinese woman came on and showed you how to make your own mask. So, hold on a moment. You don't want to use one of my his, do you?
I don't want to wear mine. I haven't got one.
I said I'd make you one. But it's very clever. It's a piece of kitchen roll, and you concertina it, and you fold it in like that. But before you fold it in like that, you add in 2 loops, which are the ear hole bits here, and you fold it in on itself, and then you put it over your ears, the 2 loops, and then you just open up the concertina bit. I mean, magic. I'm amazed.
Yeah, 3M are worried.
Anyway, see you next time.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.